Welcome back to Live Free Universe. My name is YG Reno. Thank you for joining me. This is my official part one. I believe I'm going to call it my thoughts on negative and positive personality functions. We'll talk about the introverted intuition, the extroverted intuition, the introverted sensation, and also the extroverted sensation. Like I said in the last video, I did do research when I was learning all these things, but then I stopped using the research and I started using my own resources by learning people, because I spent over 11 years in either customer service, guest relations, or anything with client-based people anyway, anything like that. I've just been learning how to really maximize my ability to work the game, right? But so negativity is more like absorption, you know what I'm saying? When you got a negative person, they absorb energy, and the way they absorb it is going to depict how they bring it back out, right? So introversion is negativity, right? Because introversion's more like impression, right? Because when you're an introverted person, or more of a reserved, when you're more of an introverted person, you spend more time taking things in and then swirling them around in your mixing bowl. And then if you're a judger, you make quick and firm decisions. And if you're if you're a perceiver, you're gonna be slow and more loose on your decisions until you figure things out. So being negative isn't always necessarily a bad thing, right? I like to really understand people when I'm working with them, so I know what I'm gonna get myself into, and sometimes so I can see when the drama's gonna come, because often people bring drama from the weirdest places. You don't see it coming until it comes, but it was always there. So with your negative functions, like I said, they absorb and they create webs and structures. You know what I'm saying? They create, like, for instance, intuitive introverted person is going to be a person that has these internal singular visions. And it might not be just one vision. It'll be multiple different visions, but they'll be connected within a category where it's like, this is all the things that are good for me, and this is all the things that are bad for me, and these are things that are horrible, and we don't need to have them, and these are the things that need to be here, and they can't go anywhere, right? So they're more like, they look for hidden signs and dangers, and they also like to have, like, inside themselves, they make these intellectual leaps, right? And then you have positive functions, right? So they're more expressive. They don't really absorb as much as they do. They act, they do things. Action isn't always physical based, right? Action could just be thought based. So they're always thinking about something, that they can do something new. Like somebody with a high imagination, they'll always just make up a new thing. Like Keenan or Kel, the skinny one from the show, he's an ENFP, or a Homer Simpson, or Al Bundy. Will Smith, especially early Will Smith from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. He was always goofy, expressive, or he was always just out there with a really big imagination. The same thing works for the sensation as well, because you have the intuitive sensors who have more like memory and structure. They like memory and structure. They like to do the same thing they did yesterday because they know they did it and they know it works. They don't like to do things outside of their realm. And when they do things outside of their realm, it makes them very uncomfortable. They're definitely people that have secrets and they have secure relationships. They learn early on how to keep their mouth shut and not say anything. And then you have the SEs, the extroverted sensors. Those are more about sensation and moment to moment. They're more like they go with the flow and they like creating action. Like an ESFP or ESTP will be a person that like, they do things. They're probably jovial, very smiling, but they do things to kind of figure things out. And that's how they learn. So inside of that, you have all your other personalities, because every personality, if you're, let's say like you're ENTJ, so you're extroverted, intuitive, thinker, and you're quick to make, you're quick firm decisions, right? But you also have your other two functions in there, and then the shadow. So it's a lot there, right? With the ENTJ, you'll find this person to be, he or she either likes to have control through wording or through debate, or they like to convince you with logic. They don't necessarily like to do too much of the emotional stuff, but when they do the emotional stuff, it's more like manipulation through logic. Like they use their logic to manipulate you emotionally. But their internal, so if their external dominant function is extroverted thinking, their second function will be introverted intuition. The third function would be extroverted sensation. So they like to see in the moment how things are gonna go. And then they have the introverted feeling. So their personal feelings on the matter. And introverted feeling is deep, right? It's deep. It's able to connect within in long bounds, right? But if it's at a low function of yours, it makes it hard for you. It's hard for you to really understand other people's emotions because you want to be logical with it, because your first dominant state is to be logical with it. So when you find a person like that, you would have them more like retreat from wanting to always be logical. You make them learn how to just be insightful in the moment rather than trying to find the core logic and the definition of everything. Positivity isn't always good. Positivity is like a person that might have gotten a car accident and lost all their money, and they're smiling because they're saying, at least I have my health. No, dude. No. Now is not the time to be optimistic. Now is the time to withdraw and see where you need to go. See what you need to fix. So positivity isn't always a positive thing. Sometimes it's a negative thing, because you'll find some people in your life who are positive, right? But every time you look, they don't have no money, or they don't have anything secure. They're either switching their job or something misfortunate's always happening to them, but they're always smiling. Or what they'll do is they'll have this quick temper. They'll have this quick temper where they'll say that they're gonna burn everything and they're gonna change their whole life and they're gonna be a whole different person. And then they go back to being the smiley, loose person. Like a gambler. You know what I mean? Like they gamble with their lives. They just do one thing and they do the next thing and then they do the next thing and they do the next thing, but they never settle and focus on anything. And then you have the double down negatives. You got those double down negatives, those people that they're negative first. And when they see something negative, they reinforce it inside of their head with their own negativity and paranoia. Then you got the people that are negative, but they're positive. They see the bad things in life, but they want to do good. And then you got the positive people that see the negative things in life. They want to see the positive, but they know that there are real dangers out there. You know what I'm saying? Personalities aren't really like easy to like understand at first, because you gotta get out of your own way. Like I said, it took me 2 to 3 years for me to even accept that I was an introvert, and even to this day I struggle with it. I mean, the only reason I know I'm an introvert is because during the quarantine I absolutely found myself in my own zone, and I don't have that big of a circle right now. Like when I was younger, I used to have a really large circle because I wanted to be out there. You know, I wanted to get all the girls and have all the, you know, we don't need to get into that. But what I'm saying is personalities, once you remove your own doubts about who you are and you accept that your own failures are going to be there, then it's easier for you to really kind of like read other people. But then I also think that part of the ability to read other people is having a real world experience, like watching people get fucked over, and then you yourself also being fucked over, to like allow you to understand that life isn't gonna give you what you want. Because if I didn't get like a crash course world experience, because I told you I'm an INTP, so that means I have a huge imagination, right? If I have a huge imagination and I have like, okay, so INTP, right? INTP, you got your internal logic, and then you got your extroverted intuition, then you have your internal sensing, and then you have your extroverted feeling. So if I didn't develop some type of ground for my imagination, if I didn't develop some type of like building place so that I could bring my imagination back, I would still be scattered to the wind. You know what I mean? I'd be bouncing from this project to that project, always outwardly happy and privately upset, you know what I'm saying? Unable to hold my emotions, unable to assert myself, and unable to find and demonstrate dominance. Hey, I hope y'all not bored by this, because I'm trying to teach y'all something, but if you are, I'm sorry. If not, please like, share, and subscribe. Another thing with personality is sometimes your parents, it's like your parents they just won't get you because you're too close to home. You know what I'm saying? It's like your mom or your dad, they don't understand you because you change with the times, just like they were changing with the times with their parents. And also, as Americans, anybody who's lived here, you know that the more radical you live, the harder it is for you to find grounding, the more you gotta kind of switch around a lot. And then the more conservative you get, as time gets on, you become more and more conservative and less concerned or ready for radical movement. You know what I'm saying? So you have these people that were complacent during the 2019, and then 2020 came around and shook the ground from under them, and they didn't know how to adjust to radical change. And those who knew how to adjust to radical change, they moved. But those who did not know how to be conservative in their strengths and also know how to save something found themselves often keep on running schemes, because what do you do when you make a lot of money fast? You spend it even faster. Why? Because you think and you know that you're gonna get more money even faster. So it's like everybody, you got introverts who are good at people, you have extroverts that are bad at people, you have introverts that are privately rich, and you got introverts that are privately poor, you got extroverts that are publicly rich but privately poor. You know what I mean? You got introverts that do that too. So like really, when you look at personality and dynamics, the behaviors of the person is only demonstrating the mentality of the person. But to really exhibit like their personality, you have to see like the underlying factors, like how they demonstrate the way they see the world, you know what I'm saying? So that like some personalities are easy to call off rip. Like you could tell that they're that and you just know it. And other times it takes you a moment because they might not be in their element. But yeah, this is officially part 1 of my thoughts of negative and positive personality functions. Part 2 is coming up real soon. Thank you very much.
Ain't no sentiments for poor dads and simpletons. You friends with them, you unlike them, you stupid. All of this got a lot of chains and whips. Slave to the trends, but you still a piece of shit.